right, Vincent, the red light is flashing. That means that we are recording and making some podcast magic. So, Vincent, the first question we ask all of our guests here on Successfully Funded is, what did you have for breakfast today?
Oh, well, it's going to be a bit disappointing because I just had coffee this morning.
what do you normally have?
And usually I have, I shouldn't say this, but Nutella.
Okay.
Yeah, Nutella with bread.
Yeah, we had we had an early morning today. We had a Kickstarter campaign ending and flipping over to Indiegogo. So I literally spent the whole morning on Zoom here, and then ate an early lunch of tacos. So that's tacos is officially
okay for breakfast.
What I had for breakfast here. All right. So Vincent Buzo, where are you guys based out of?
I'm sorry?
You guys are based in France?
Yes, we are based in Bordeaux in France.
Okay, fantastic. So the Funkey S, the world's smallest foldable handheld console. What inspired you to create this fun keychain?
Many ideas. I mean, the story behind it is a bit long, but basically the whole idea behind the Funkey S is to have a keychain on which you can play, retro games. And for me, I'm a huge fan of retro gaming and playing the old games, that we used to play on the Super Nintendo or the NES when you were young. And the idea is, you've got a lot of idle moments in life when you're just waiting in line or at the dentist or I don't know, in the bus. And the idea is to fill all of these empty moments with something that you always carry with you because it's on your keys, it's on your keychain, and just pop it up and you open it and you can just start back some game that you were playing or beat some boss that you were beating or something like that on any console that you wanted, that you played on when you were young.
Fantastic. And so this is really hitting my sweet spot because, I'm of the generation that when Super Nintendo came out, I was at that perfect age. I was about 12 years old, and man, was it a life changer. How are you, to do the, boy, has technology changed. Back in the day, we had these big boxes and we would blow on the tape and try to get the cartridge to go in. And now you get this on a small keychain. How are you able to bring so many different console games to this small device?
Yeah. Well, actually, retro consoles actually exist already. So we have some competition, let's say, and they're all the normal size. Let's say they are a size to play on, which is approximately the size of any Game Boy or the Switch or something like that. So that's what we did, basically. So how do we fit all of these consoles? We didn't create the emulators for these consoles. We used open source emulators, and we're going to share everything with everyone. Actually, that's one main point of our project. And then I guess the answer would be thanks to our team, because the main three people behind the project are David, Michel, and me, who are a mechanical engineer, a software engineer, and an electrical engineer. So we've basically brainstormed everything, and so we came up with something pretty small. And if you want to know something, the CPU that we used that allowed us to save a lot of space is something that usually is used in the GoPro cameras, but there's already, a little screen output made for the GoPro cameras, and we reuse this. It's a bit of recycling so that we can use it on small screens for the consoles.
Nice. So, obviously I see some Super Nintendo or NES games, I should say, being replicated here. What are the different systems that you can replicate on this?
Okay, so from memory, you have a dozen of them. Yes, 12 actually. So perfect dozen. You have the NES, the Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis, the Sega Master System, the Game Gear, the Neo Geo Pocket, the Atari Lynx, and the PlayStation 1.
Wow. Amazing.
And one, I don't remember. The Wonder Swan. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I remember this era of like Tamagotchi, keychains and how simple those were. And there was like this, almost like an 8-bit era of these things on here. And to have that much power on a device like this, are you worried that people are going to be completely checked out and wasting their time playing retro games now?
No, not really. Not really. I'm not worried about it.
So, I think that at the core of this is just fun. I mean, the idea of being able to kind of go back and do these throwbacks on such a unique size, really hits Kickstarter's sweet spot with just joyful products that aren't, taking themselves too seriously, aren't doing a real hard sell. And as of speaking today, with about 6 days to go, you're at about 150,000 US with 1,600 backers. How did you get the message out to them? How did you acquire your backer base?
Well, actually, the main advice we got was from Kickstarter, which has a really great how to get started webpage. And they say that from the start, you need to build a community, either on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or through your website with a newsletter. And we were pretty late, but, as they say, I think it's on their website that they say, like some Japanese mojo that says, either you planted the tree 20 years ago or you can still plant it now. And I don't remember exactly how it goes, but basically, every day is the best day to start. And so we did, and we got the chance to get a really great addition to the team, Kilian, which works in marketing and ended up really creating a great community for us. So we have like 3,000 people on Instagram following us and writing, and it's a great active community. They're always supporting us and giving us ideas, and really we can't thank them enough, and it's thanks to them that we managed this.
So how soon before your launch did you start making those marketing efforts?
I'm not really great with dates. You should ask my girlfriend is my calendar, actually, so I should ask her. No, it's approximately like a year ago, I say. No, I'm mistaken. We started before, but Kilian joined us less than 6 months ago. So it's less. Before he was there, I think we had 200 followers, and now we have 3,000. So nice. In 6 months.
So you really did make an investment of building an audience to bring to Kickstarter versus throwing it on Kickstarter and hoping they come. Yeah. So how you've got these shipping pretty aggressively too in November 2020. What is your process like once this thing funds? What is the next stage for you?
Yeah, that's something that people worry about, and even us, actually. So I should first say that we are already a bit in advance. We are not late. So we prepared everything before. We already contacted everyone in China because we're producing in China. So we've got, and I should say that our jobs, David, Michael, and me, is this. Basically, we do this for a living. With another company, but we do this. We've been doing this for years, so we know how to make products in China, electromechanical products from start, and to produce them in China, because that's we handle the whole chain at our jobs. So basically, we know the process, and we just replicated it for the Funkey S. So we are pretty confident about the dates, and we already started manufacturing. Well, that's an exclusive info. No one knows. We started manufacturing the PCBAs, PCBAs, English, the printed circuits, at the beginning of the week.
Okay.
And the molds are going to start normally next week.
Good. So so before you even end, you're going to be in the manufacturing process. That's fantastic. What has been What has been like the main feedback from your backer community? What are they saying about the project? What are they loving about it?
Some of them say it's too small, we can play. Yeah, it's not the backers, because the backers obviously they backed it because it's not too small for them. They wanted to play it. But usually we've got out of the backer community, we've got the no, it's too small, I can't play, I won't play, and oh yeah, it's great, it's really cute, and I can carry it with me. And we are trying to move in this direction. We are trying to change the minds of the people saying it's too small. Actually, most of the people we actually to who we actually lend the prototypes, they all change their minds and they want one now. It's really not too small. You can actually play it. It's great. And among the backers, I think we've got a lot of support, and most of them they required things. They wanted to add stretch goals and to give us advice, and usually pretty good advice, really. And thanks to them, we actually got in contact to our production in China, and we've added new colors to the console, and so it's going to come for them.
Yeah. I think that on the size standpoint, the fact that it fits on the keychain is its charm in my mind. Like that's, and it doesn't look like it's too cumbersome of a device on the keychain either, right? So the ergonomics of it, fit in your pocket or, hang out slightly or whatever. Yeah. Is the demographics of your audience adult males? Like who is buying this age-wise?
Okay, so we have a few info about that, especially thanks to Google Analytics and the YouTube channel as well. So yeah, mostly male audience. I'd say it's 80-20.
Kickstarter, that's who we are, right? Yeah.
Yeah, especially for gadgets. Yeah.
Do you think that is going to be your core audience moving forward, or do you find a way that maybe there's some broader appeal with younger audiences?
Yeah, actually, we think we didn't reach the whole audience yet. To tell you the truth, we didn't get many. We got some articles from tech news websites, but not from the US. And they answered, and actually it's a great thing that they answered, because we asked them, why don't you talk about our products? Because most of the other countries do. And in the US, like TechCrunch or Gizmodo or big journals like that, they answered that they actually follow the product for quite some time, and they knew about our project even before we launched it on Kickstarter, but they don't take the risk anymore to talk about Kickstarter products, not much. And I think we missed a big audience because of that. And also because of the COVID pandemic in the US right now, it's not really, the time to buy things.
It is not a time to buy things. Now, I think you're touching on a point that a lot of campaign founders should think about is, this beast of crowdfunding and digital marketing is always evolving. And I think what's happening is, in the beginning, it was a very open market. You didn't necessarily have to run Facebook ads. There was no blocking of your audience on Facebook. You made a post, everyone that follows you sees it. And the tech media in particular was very excited to write about these ideas and projects. But because of not so much projects failing, but projects succeeding and then failing to deliver, this is the reason why a lot of publications are hesitant. So I think the advice that I would give to any project creator is, that's why you've got to spend that year like you did prior and investing that in your Instagram audience, your Facebook audience, your YouTube audience, because you're not going to get eyeballs on your Kickstarter from press. That's going to come later when you're a shipping product on maybe a digital store or Shopify, or standard retail rules apply to you. But it's not going to happen right now anymore with these publications. So,
And you should know, because you've produced a lot of Kickstarter projects, no?
A lot, yeah. I think still to this day, Jeff and I under our previous company, Groovebox Studios, hold the record for the most successful Kickstarter campaigns by any single project creator. So they were all very small music campaigns, but we did a lot of them. I think it's
okay. So you should definitely know. Yeah.
265 of those plus, as Woodshed Agency, I think we've had well over 100 as Woodshed Agency as a consulting agency. So we're not the project creator, but we're in the weeds with our partners doing it. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about after Kickstarter. You're obviously doing great with 6 days left. I think, this next stretch goal of unlocking the colors, I really hope you achieve that. I would love to see that happen. When your Kickstarter ends, what are you doing immediately after that? Are you going to do the Indiegogo in demand?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
very easy to do, everybody. You should all be doing this. I spent all morning switching it over to a client, but yes, this can be done.
Okay. No, they contacted us. Actually, we planned on doing it, and we got lucky. I don't know if maybe it's 1 week they have a 1 week rule or something, but they contacted us yesterday. Guys from Indiegogo, and we actually told them that we already planned on doing it. And I think it's a great way to fill the gap between the web marketplace, where you're going to really be able to sell your products, and with continuous production when you already have stock. And now the end of the campaign, because we don't have stock yet, any stock, I mean. So basically there's a big gap. And we plan on doing Indiegogo in demand. I think it's the best way to.
I agree. It's becoming a best practice and we did this morning with our client, is our Kickstarter ended at noon. At 12:01, the Indiegogo was live. So the Kickstarter had just barely stopped doing its fireworks of, hey, you've succeeded, and now Indiegogo's up. And then what a lot of.
Can I ask you a question about this? Because you should know. So I'm just gonna. We were wondering today. At the end of the Kickstarter, we can't write anything anymore on the story, right?
There are some restrictions, but and we're seeing it for the first time now too. Like Kickstarter has a couple betas that they're running in terms of actually solving this problem we just talked about, right? Of campaigns succeeding but then failing to deliver. They have a beta program now that is giving you a really organized way of reporting your stages of production. So you cannot go back and change fundamental language on what your campaign was. That's all locked in stone. But now you have this new area where you can post updates of where you are in the process. And that might not be available to everybody, but we're seeing it for the first time as a beta with this client. We're going to be digging in.
Okay, well, I asked that because I wanted to know if we should put the wheel on Indiegogo on demand demand before the end of the Kickstarter or not at the at the beginning.
Well, actually, I think this this is going to be one of those visual things for our podcast listener audience that isn't going to be awesome, but for anyone that goes to YouTube and checks out our video stream here, they can see this. So I'm going to share my screen with you. So now we're going from podcasts to our helping our campaigns. So this is what you see now, and this is the campaign that we flipped over. So what I was able to do now is I can change this button, and this is a best practice we recommend, is use the Indiegogo colors and do a pre-order now. So when we click this now, you're going to be redirected right over to your Indiegogo.
Wow, that's a good idea. Okay.
So you don't really need to make a big fuss about this different platform now existing over here. People that are going to want to pledge now and pre-order, it's right there with that button. But the other thing is, you can see here, this is where the status section that's in beta.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it's going to be executed in the main body of the campaign, but these are where status updates are going to start to go. And of course, you have your normal way of doing backer updates with your backers, so you can still communicate to them there. But the reason why this is, I think, becoming a great best practice for reward-based crowdfunding to go immediately from Kickstarter to Indiegogo in demand is you do not lose the SEO investment you have on your Kickstarter page.
Yeah, that's true.
You've been spending 30 days or whatever it is building up this audience that's been engaging with your Kickstarter, and that Kickstarter link in your Google ranking is going to be very, very hot. And now you've got this other beast starting up and starting to gain traction with Indiegogo, but the one's going to link directly to the other. So they're not really working competitively against each other. They're working in harmony. And
actually, you're helping building and growing the community, because you've got the Kickstarter one, and then Indiegogo might help you also making promotion on their website with their followers.
Yeah. So, the communities are different and they're cultivated differently. And I think it's a good thing that Kickstarter has its culture and Indiegogo has its culture, But some of the things that change that are helping you as a project creator bridge the gap from a Kickstarter, crowdfunding all or nothing mindset, is this going to work? Am I going to hit my goal? Is what you're thinking about on a Kickstarter, to now, because you have the ability to put the Facebook pixel code and Google AdWords codes right into your Indiegogo, you're going to start to change your ad behaviors and the types of retargeting strategies that you're doing on Indiegogo. They're going to be more similar to what you're going to be doing when you get to your Shopify page or your web store.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to be able to think about how you're engaging with this audience a little bit differently and use some different muscles. So
it's a smooth transition there. Okay.
Well, the only thing that's not smooth, and anyone from Indiegogo or a Kickstarter, I know you're mortal enemies. I know you're competing for the same space, but the design parameters for Indiegogo are about 15 pixels different than the design parameters for Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. So your designer has to go through and change the aspect ratios of all your graphics
to be pixel perfect, you mean?
And that sucks.
Yeah.
So let's bring this back to your product now. Okay, so consultation off, podcast back on.
Thanks.
No problem. So what are your future plans transitioning from a pre-order status to a regular digital marketing experience?
You mean after the in-demand?
For this product, like how do you see the company moving forward?
So we already have the website. We thought about basically setting up our marketing, how do you call it? Sorry,
digital marketing or a web store, or Shopify. Yeah.
We wanted to, that's the idea, because after the on-demand, we wanted to directly sell the products on our website. Right?
Perfect.
Is it a good idea? I mean, I don't know if maybe
I think so. Yeah. I mean, especially if this is what you do, do you see this staying this kind of, I don't want to use the word gimmick, but like, whimsical. I think whimsy is the better word. I think whimsy is the better word. Do you see yourself staying in this whimsical execution of this retro gaming console, or do you have other ideas on the pipe?
We do.
And do you want to share them with our podcast audience?
But I mean, what can I say? I can say that the retro gaming community is already, the retro gaming consoles, the handhelds are not only our console, they are, like I said before, they are mainly like big consoles, like
right.
And it's a market which is already well established. It's been 3 years. It's the third generation of retro handheld consoles. They're pretty great right now, and we couldn't just arrive there and with our first product, be a very great concurrent solution compared to the other. So basically, we have a name now in the retro gaming community. we have a console that's a niche product, so we don't really have any competition, and we have a really great product. We also have a great OS, a great distribution, which is unique. We're going to share with everyone, and we plan on opening this distribution or sharing this distribution with the market and making a name. And since many people asked for a full-size product and that maybe we'll have a name and a great distribution and great OS for a full-size product.
Yeah.
Let's see where we'll go with that.
I'll tell you, for this category, I think you already have two of the cultural things that are important is you approach this with a light heart, and you're listening to your backers and your customers, right?
Yeah.
You're taking that feedback and saying, no, that's not the way we like it. Yeah, color's great. Bring it. What do you got? What else? So I think you're definitely in the right cultural mindset to succeed in this space as a company. And
thank you.
And you're following the best practices. So you need to go on demand. But everybody, I'll tell you this. It's the Funkey over on Kickstarter. There's about 6 days to go as of the recording of this. I think by the time this thing airs, you're going to have about 48 hours left to pledge. Help them hit this next stretch goal. Let's get those colors, all right? So everybody rally. We got to get 25,000 more US pumped into this thing before they go over to Indiegogo On Demand, so then they can unveil their master plans there of what comes after colors. But Vincent, it is awesome talking to you, man.
Awesome talking to you, and thanks for the great advice. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
So everyone, check it out. Funkey you can't miss it. The purple handheld retro gaming keychain, and they're over on Kickstarter for the next couple days, and then when they're done, if they follow Sean's old advice, they'll have a big pink button on that Kickstarter. They'll take you over to Indiegogo On Demand. Where you can
that will be.
All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having us. Thanks.
You too. Be safe. Wear your mask.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.